3, 2, 1, go!
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Nerd Legion. I'm Josh.
I'm Jose.
I'm Nathan.
So yeah, we got a few things to go into for today. Starting off with the latest episode of What If. This time it is a What If story of Doctor Strange. This time, and this is the one that had where you saw in the teaser trailer the two Doctor Stranges, which we later found out. Spoilers alert if you haven't seen it, that those two Doctor Stranges that you saw in the teaser trailer were two Doctor Stranges in two different timelines, technically in the same universe, if I word that right.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay. So yeah, like I will say this is that this is probably my favorite episode of What If so far.
Oh, easily my favorite too.
Easily same.
Yeah, because basically not only did they use the basically the Uncle Ben loophole, and what they did is that the reason why I call it the Uncle Ben loophole is that no matter how many times you try to save Uncle Ben, he's still gonna die. So hence why they use that for Christine in this technical What If universe. So what that means is, obviously with the case with the Watcher now, he's slowly gonna have a bigger role as the episodes goes in, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. What do you guys think?
It definitely is interesting. By the end of it, he was trapped in a ball. Like he was begging the Watcher to do something, Like it was crazy how that happened.
I have a theory about what he was actually trapped in, and it's not really a ball.
Oh, right.
I think I know what he was trapped in. Josh, you have any thoughts before I reveal what my thoughts are?
Nope, go ahead.
Okay. I think he is trapped in an Infinity Stone, and not just any Infinity Stone, but the Power Stone.
Oh, maybe.
He could be.
The Infinity Stones contain universes, right?
Right.
Each of the stones contain universes, right? So the destruction of that universe resulted in it being contained in maybe not the Power Stone from the Prime timeline, but at least a Power Stone. Because not only does it closely resemble like the look of a gem, but also it's purple, and the Infinity Stone that's purple is the Power Stone.
It could be. Could be. He he really screwed it up, like the reality of everything, and he really tried to save his wife or his girlfriend, but he just couldn't.
And instead of allowing her death to be what it was, he refused to accept it.
Now, yeah. See, here's the thing, and I'm sorry to spoil this for you guys. I kind of did it for Nathan already. I'm sorry. It's in the upcoming trailer for tomorrow's, when we're recording that. It's
I believe tomorrow is the zombie one.
The zombie one.
Which is probably the most hyped one yet.
Yeah, I want to see how that goes. But Doctor Strange, I mean that the evil version does come back.
Which to me is really disappointing.
Yeah.
Only because I liked that ending so much.
But it does put into question more things, because even though it's, I mean, that was spoiled for me when I saw the video, and I'm sorry for spoiling it for you guys, but you would have saw the video anyways. That it really puts in perspective. Okay, so what other roles does he have? I really do think the Doctor Strange that we got on the trailer of Spider-Man No Way Home is most likely the bad Doctor Strange. So
another theory about that I saw, I think just yesterday. I want to know what you guys thought about it. There's people that think that the Doctor Strange in the No Way Home trailer. What if it was Loki in disguise?
That was another one too. It could be.
Because like it doesn't make sense for Doctor Strange to be like, oh fine, I won't I won't cast the spell. And he goes along with it anyway. Like that's definitely not Doctor Strange. But Loki, he may have motivation to open the multiverse to find Sylvie.
Oof,
Right.
oof.
If you think about it,
Is he strong enough to do that as because he's a sorcerer himself, right? So
yeah, he is.
but is he strong enough to do that?
I mean, he's a god.
He is, but like I mean, Doctor Strange kind of whooped his butt when he put in that infinite like loop and it's I've been falling for 30 minutes.
Right.
You know? So
I
there
mean,
comes the
it's
question straight.
still it's possible. I don't know if I buy it wholeheartedly, but I'm still like I think it's possible. Um
Mm-hmm.
like there's a part of me that still thinks in No Way Home that it is Doctor Strange. He just is being uncharacteristically wistful. Um or this is an imposter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Or it,
maybe
or it's just a variant of Doctor Strange that maybe doesn't have evil intentions but has different intentions than the I'm just gonna call it the prime Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
or maybe it's like this Doctor Strange is like, well, we save half the universe together. Like like there's nothing in the world that we can't conquer.
What could go wrong? Right?
Yeah, what could go
Yeah,
wrong?
like I think maybe after Endgame, Doctor Strange had a new mentality of like, you know what, like we defeated Thanos, like there's nothing in the world that we can't stop. So that's why he's probably gonna act all cocky now.
There was a
Which
meme I saw.
he
Oh,
is
sorry.
very cocky.
Yeah, I saw a meme on or a TikTok. I was laughing so hard because it was this girl was reenacting the scene, and it was Doctor Strange being like, I screwed up," and the Watcher's like, "Oh damn, I think I should do something. Nah, I can't interfere." And then Doctor Strange's like, "Hey you, yeah, I'm talking to you. Who me? You can see me. Please help me
More like
fix."
it's more like be like, hey, you, can you help? And it's like, oh, I wish I could, but I don't want to.
I don't want.
That's
Exactly.
basically like
Or or
sorry,
you
go.
made or you made your bed, now lay in it. So
Essentially, yeah. No
That's
bed for
basic.
him.
Sorry, go.
No bed for him to lay in, though. He had like literally nothing. That's why I'm kind of disappointed that he's coming back because I think it's far more satisfying of an ending that like this is the punishment for his actions. He's literally left with absolutely nothing.
yeah, exactly.
True.
Like the world paid for his arrogance.
Mm-hmm.
It's just funny how that just all happened. But he destroyed his own reality. I get like he can't do anything about it. Now, here's the thing. I know that the okay, let me ask you guys this. Do you think somebody else manipulated the for Doctor Strange's girlfriend to be killed over and over again? Like it could have been chance that he could have saved her, but somebody else manipulated that he couldn't ever.
No, I think the ancient one said it best. Like I think her death was planned, no matter what scenario it was. That's kind of like my saying earlier with the Uncle Ben loophole, which that like no
Ooh,
matter which story you see happen, like he's gonna die. Like it's also saying the same thing with Bruce Wayne's parents. You know what I mean? Like every single timeline that you see, his parents are gonna die, except one situation where um, in the Flashpoint movie where Bruce Wayne got shot instead of his parents, and it changed the whole construct of the DC universe, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's basically like that. It's just the only difference is that it's pretty much inevitable on like how they could avoid that, right?
Mm.
Now, unless if you were Flash and really like avoid the entire situation entirely, then you're gonna have massive consequences. But because this was
right.
already like this person was gonna die no matter which situation that it was gonna happen, whether it's a drive-by, whether it is getting shot, whether if the building got caught on fire, like you know what, like basically the Watcher was like, okay, you know what, Christine dies on this day. I don't care what happens, she's gonna die. And that's just what.
It's just funny. It's just like she's gonna die on this day, no matter what. Screw you, Doctor Strange.
And then the Watcher's like, why? And then Watcher's like, sorry, bro.
My God. Personally, I feel like the Ancient One, even though she said this is an absolute point in time, I still feel like it was just, Doctor Strange has tried over and over again, and for every single one, Christine died. Like imagine this, like that means like poor Christine, like it doesn't matter what happens. Yes, I feel like something was manipulating it to look like she couldn't be saved. Like
Yeah.
she was killed in a bomb, she was shot, she was like the crash happened no matter what. She had a heart attack while she was dancing. Like what? Like there was too many things
To have
that
been at least one way in which she didn't die, because like remember
yeah,
he looked at 14,605 different outcomes
exactly.
against Thanos, and they only won in one outcome.
Yeah, so and he couldn't find the one unless I mean unless they made it that way, of course. But like I mean he was but it was really I
But I
think
guess too, it
something
wasn't the point of the episode. The point of the episode was to show that these are the consequences for meddling with time and events.
exactly. Yeah. Happens, man. Poor Doctor Strange, man.
Yeah. Can't
Yeah,
get
Poor
a
like
him.
break. In one timeline, he loses his hands. Another timeline, he loses the love of his life.
I mean,
Well,
like here
yeah,
is a red button question.
sure.
Would you
No.
uh oh, hold on.
Wh-
Would you lose your hands to keep the love of your life alive, or would you keep your hands but lose the love of your life?
Oh God.
Oh,
That's
geez.
basically Doctor Strange's dilemma here.
That's an existential question there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me put it this way. Like, I mean, if Doctor Strange left it alone, it happened with natural causes. So he, but he had to accept, and he never did accept the death of Christine. He was so like, I have to go back and save her and change the course of time and reality, but he never did. He was warned. Well, I mean, he did, but he was warned numerous times as well. Like um, he couldn't let go, and it's grief. I feel bad for this Doctor Strange. I got to be honest with you. I do for what he went through.
Yeah.
Masterfully played by Benedict Cumberbatch once again.
Mhm. Once again,
Yeah. Yeah, like despite that, What If didn't bring like I'm happy that What If brought back almost all the original characters to come back as their reprising roles, despite a few. But still, like it's I'm happy that Benedict Cumberbatch was able to reprise his role, and I think it's his first animation role in a film. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure if Lord of the Rings counts with him
Wrong.
playing the what?
This case was a TV series. In film, he's been an animated character.
yeah.
Oh, right, the Grinch, right?
Well, that and
And
also Smog.
Smaug technically was animated.
That's why I was asking if Smog
I
technically
believe he
counts
was
as.
also in the Penguins of Madagascar film.
No, he was not.
Which
As
Yeah,
who?
he was.
Who?
He was also Dormammu.
Yeah, but like I meant like as a cartoon. Like I don't mean like a animation. Like a entirely. Like I thought like when I said animation, I'm like, wait a second. Smog in the Lord of the Rings. Well, sorry, in the Hobbit films, technically kind of counts as animation. I meant like in a cartoon style film.
In In Penguins of Madagascar film, he plays the wolf named Classified.
Oh,
Yeah,
Wait,
okay,
no
so never
way.
mind.
That's funny.
it's him. His voice actor is Benedict Cumberbatch.
That's actually really fucking funny.
Hmm. Okay, then never mind. He's actually started in a few animation roles. I'm impressed with like the way that Benedict Cumberbatch was able to put in so much emotion into his character for that. It's like, damn. Like I thought Doctor Strange was kind of like a little bit of a robotic, like just going with the lines kind of character, but he really shined in this episode, and that made me be like, okay, I could see Doctor Strange actually have a range of emotions for this.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, he's a very good, very prolific voice actor.
Well, like I'm just excited what is gonna come with the zombies one. Any theories on like how they're gonna incorporate the zombies as the plot?
Uh, I'm up open. It's gonna be based. I hope it's gonna be dark, like how it was in the comics. Um, I want to see how that works.
Yeah, I'm thinking they might do something with Janet Van Dyne when she went to the quantum realm, and then all of a sudden she got some sort of virus, and then it spread to like almost the entire universe, and they all became zombies. Well, most of them became zombies. So that's how I would see that. I can also see that the scrolls invaded Earth, and all of a sudden they came back with a disease, and then they pass it off to humans. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's like one of those two theories. But hey, I'm amped up for this one. I think this could top the Doctor Strange one if it's done right.
I really, yeah, I think watching these what ifs, any characters can show up into the Marvel universe. It's been worded and rumored that possibly they could be using like Captain Carter in like in the
And
real
Doctor
life.
Strange Multiverse of Madness. Yeah, I've heard about
Yeah,
that. I've
yeah.
also heard that uh shit, I'm drawing a blank. I also heard that an X-Men character might show up in Doctor Strange the Multiverse of Madness.
I heard that too. I heard that they might fight an X-Men villain. So
How
that's
much you
gonna
want to
be.
bet it's how much you want to bet it's Magneto?
Some people said it was Magneto. I'm still holding out for Mephisto, my guy. I still want
I
Mephisto.
don't think it's Myth.
You know,
The only thing though is that I don't think Mephisto's not an X-Men villain, so I
oh, he's
don't think
not.
it's so it's not Mephisto. So it's either gonna be or it's gonna be oh, or it's gonna be one that showed up in uh X-Men Apocalypse.
Hmm.
It's one of the two. Or hell, they might bring in Juggernaut. Like who knows?
Oh God, imagine. Is there another magical being that could face against the others, like Wanda and Doctor Strange? That is from the X Men.
I mean Emma Frost, maybe.
Emma Frost is more of a telekinetic, though, right? Like she's more of a mind
No, she
reader.
control. Well,
She
yeah.
can turn her skin to diamond, right?
Mm.
But who else could there be? Is there an X Men other than Wanda, who's supposed to be an X Men, or not X Men? Sorry, a mutant. Who has magical powers? Her sister,
Uh,
possibly.
well, let's see.
What does
So
her
we
sister
have
do?
there's Mystique, but uh, Mystique has been turned into a hero recently, so I don't think it's Mystique. There's Shadow King, um, who basically can control X-Men characters behind the scenes, and basically this dude is a problem. So it could be Shadow King. I don't think so though. Juggernaut, yes, I mentioned him. Cassandra Nova, not really. Hellfire Club, I don't think so. Mr. Sinister.
Mister
Mi-
Sinister?
Mr. Sinister, yeah.
Hey,
I mean,
guys,
Yep.
yeah.
sorry. Did you hear the announcement about Venom?
No. What?
What about it?
Well, you guys might be excited about this. Because of the success of Shang-Chi, like in The Legend of the Ten Rings in the theaters, right?
Yes.
Sony has made the decision to move up the release date of Venom to October 1st.
Yep.
Ah!
Yep. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Shang-Chi did well in ticket sales on Labor Day weekend.
Yep. So Sony's decided, hey, let's move it up.
Wow. Okay, first off, Sony. Make up your mind on the release date.
They wanted to
First-
see.
First
LB.
2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, correct me if I'm wrong, you decided to push it back to November because you didn't want any
the Delta
competition.
variant. And the Delta variant, right?
And the Delta variant, yeah. You pushed it back for 2-3 weeks because of the Delta variant and also because you don't want any competition with Shang-Chi. Now, with Shang-Chi doing well in ticket sales, you guys are like, okay, let's bring it back to October. Make up your mind.
Make up your mind.
I mean, like, that goes to show that the film is already ready. Just drop it soon.
Because Shang-Chi will be in theaters for 45 days. And then it'll be leaving. Probably going straight to Disney Plus after that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I'm going to be working all week this week, but I think this weekend I'm free to go see it.
Okay.
That's just a note, but
Jose, you were waiting, right?
Yeah, I was waiting.
Yeah.
yeah, but like I did hear that there is an end credit scene that that features Wong in it from Doctor Strange. So I think Wong, and people are speculating that Wong is the new Agent Coulson.
Interesting.
That
Huh.
he'll jump in different movies, try to recruit some new heroes as the new Avengers, which is a possibility. I don't know how exactly it's going to work, but it should be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. What?
Sorry, go.
Yeah, I don't know how that's. I was gonna say.
Yeah. Well, like it's good to know that Venom is moving back up into October 1st. That means I get to at least have a movie to watch on October 1st. So wait, what does that mean for Eternals? Is their release date still in November, or how's that working?
I think it's still the same.
Still the same as far as
I haven't
I'm
heard anything
aware.
different.
Okay.
And then we've also got Hawkeye coming to Disney Plus in November.
Yeah, and then we might see Yuvana, I think her name was, in Black Widow coming back.
I think I heard something like that.
Yeah, she should be coming back. 12.
Yeah, yeah. So Jeremy Renner's gonna have a fun time with her.
Hmm. No, it definitely is gonna be fun to see her back, and then see how. I don't know, man. I kind of sucks that the way that she is gonna essentially replace Black Widow, Scarlet Witch, right? I mean, not Scarlet Witch. What the heck am I talking about? Oh no, Scarlett Johansson. That's what I was saying.
Well, I
So-
mean, Black Widow was like long overdue. Like they should have done it like right after Civil War, in my opinion. They could
Yeah.
have easily done a story towards that, but they were like, you know what? Fans wanted a Black Widow movie. Let's give them a Black Widow movie. And it's like you're a little too late, Marvel.
Where in the timeline does Black Widow fall? Doesn't it doesn't it happen after Civil War?
It happens after Civil War and before Infinity
Before.
War.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then the end
they
credits
could have
scene.
easily done it like between could have had it they could have easily had it after Civil War and before Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Right. Let me tell you the reason why they didn't do a Black Widow movie at that time, and this was actually a very sad reason on why they didn't do it. the main reason why they didn't do it is because back at the time in 2016, like, remember, like, almost Civil War didn't happen because Ike Perlmutter was being a cheapskate and literally trying to, like, give Kevin Feige a massive headache to stop with using major actor names and major character names to show up in Marvel properties. And I'm like, you're the reason why Marvel is failing and almost went into bankrupt. So what happened in that regard, I think I explained this in an earlier episode, but when Civil War was in pre-production, Ike Perlmutter said to Kevin Feige, let's not use Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man to come back for Civil War. Huh?
Yeah.
You need Tony Stark for Civil War. He is the main character in the Civil War storyline. You take away a Captain America character in a Captain America film, how else they're going to do it? Like,
Yeah.
Like, it makes no sense.
So,
So then the reason being why they wanted to cut that off is because they wanted to save money. And I'm like, do you know how much money you're getting from all the Marvel films alone? Come on. So then, so Kevin Feige was this close to leaving Marvel entirely, because Ike Perlmutter shut down a few of Kevin Feige's ideas. He shut down a Black Widow movie. He shut down a Black Panther movie, and he shut down, I believe, I think he shut down another film that's like really popular. I don't know what it was, but I do know the two main ones were Black Widow and Black Panther.
question.
So then, yes,
Is this guy still with Marvel?
yes, he's the CEO of Marvel. His name's Ike Perlmutter. But you hardly see him because, like,
Kevin Feige to replace him?
fans are campaigning for him to be the new CEO of Marvel, and I think he deserves it at this rate.
At the same time, it would tie his hands a bit for being involved creatively, though.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. It's the same reason for why, like, people were campaigning for Dave Filoni to be the CEO of Lucasfilm, and that again would tie his hands creatively,
True.
right?
True. Now, this is where the situation of, like, how Disney rearranged Marvel's leadership placement style in terms of upper management, right? So when when Bob Iger sat down with Ike Perlmutter for dinner or coffee, one of the two, and then he had a conversation with Ike and said, "Listen, Kevin Feige is getting really ill. He needs to you need to let him get what he wants, just so the fact that the company can grow and we can still progress as a business." Right? He was reluctant to listen, so therefore Bob Iger decided to make a move and rearrange all of their Disney and Marvel placements. So therefore, Kevin Feige no longer reports to Ike Perlmutter anymore. They now report to Alan Horn, who is no longer in charge of Disney now. But he reported to him at that time for all of his Marvel properties, and therefore Alan Horn was like, "Okay, you know what? You want to do this? Feel free." Basically, he gave him free range to do whatever he wants now. So if it wasn't for Disney rearranging the stuff with Marvel, the MCU would have been done at Phase 3.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is that he also wanted to throw in the Black Widow movie, but the thing is, they realized that female toy sales weren't really what they're targeting for, because again, that's Ike Perlmutter's snitch. So they were like, we're not doing the Black Widow movie because female superheroes don't sell. And I'm like, that's kind of sexist, but okay.
Misogynistic.
Yeah, that too. So therefore, they didn't do a Black Widow movie for a while until he faded in the background, and therefore fans were campaigning to do a Black Widow movie for a very long time. And then Kevin Feige was like, okay, you know what? Let's actually give the fans what they wanted. So, little too late to throw in a Black Widow movie, but do I blame Kevin Feige on the timing? No, because I think he really wanted to throw in a Black Widow movie after Civil War, hence why the timing was there.
I think he did too.
Yeah, so it's not really his fault, but at the same time, it's like he could have done it before Endgame.
Yeah.
Like like at least do it that way. Like Captain Marvel took place in the '90s before almost all the films except Captain America: The First Avenger. So there's
Right,
nothing
Black
wrong
Widow.
there.
I think Black Widow could have fit in just fine too between Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah, and this
Right.
could have taken place before his death, but no, we now have ourselves a Marvel version of the Solo film. This is
Marvel.
so
Jesus.
Oh man.
so yeah, like that's
Yeah, the
why.
lawsuit is moving forward. You said as well.
Yeah, the lawsuit's moving forward. And I gotta say this, Disney needs to stop playing victim here. I'm sorry, but let me, like, this is just my own personal opinion, but when you are going through a negotiation contract, you have to honor your own terms in the contract. I don't care if you're the biggest company in the world, you do not go against your own contract obligations, even as a studio, because you want to know why?
Why?
It will go against everything that you have said for and what you bring your integrity into your company, right?
Mm.
Well, with Disney, what they are doing now is basically shifting the blame onto Scarlett Johansson when they are we are all fully aware that they're in the wrong here.
Yep.
Like, Scarlett Johansson should have gotten paid for having the film in theaters. I understood the situations with the pandemic and why it got delayed. That was fine, but you still should have released it in theaters like you said in your contract. That was the only thing. Not just throw it straight to Disney Plus to make yourself some quick change. You don't do that.
They did release it to theaters. The problem with I think we went over this in not episode 16, episode 13, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 16.
Mm.
I don't know. We have a lot of episodes now. But basically, the movie was supposed to be exclusive to theaters
Yes.
and then eventually come to Disney Plus.
Yes.
Disney went against the contract and made it a hybrid release, bringing it both to theaters and on Disney Plus Premier Access. That went against Scarlett Johansson's contract,
Mm.
as far as I understand it.
Right. Right. Now, I can see why Disney put a loophole in there, but Scarlett Johansson's like, no, 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 you don't do that. And then Disney's like, well, we're now not going to put you in any more future Marvel properties. And I'm like,
Or any other properties in general. They were supposed to do a Tower of Terror with Tower of Terror film with Scarlett Johansson producing, and that is now, you know, for lack of a better word, gone.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I bet Warner Brothers is laughing in the background right now, being like, ha! You guys finally had a mistake!
You finally had a mistake.
They've made tons of other mistakes.
Oh yeah.
Any
Yeah.
other one of Disney's competitors that isn't already swallowed up by them is probably looking at them like,
Yep, basically.
first time?
First time. Oh, I could literally see a meme where it's just like Disney fucking up on one of their actors when they interfered with their contracts, and then you see Warner Brothers on the bottom of the screen being like, "First time."
Right.
Man. Disney.
So now, because of that lawsuit, Joe and Anthony Russo, I think they either boycotted or Disney prevented them from showing up in any other Disney property too.
Really?
Yeah, like that's what I heard about recently, that Joe and Anthony Russo are now no longer going to be associated with Disney, which is a big problem. Like especially when they have done major success with with Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. It's like you cut off your best ingredient in your Marvel films, you got yourself an issue. Because then it's like, where are your next big where is your next big people to make your next best film, right?
Yeah. Have you guys heard about the situation with rapper Shindy?
No. What's going on there?
So he is a rapper. I hadn't really heard of him before, but I heard about it from whole bunch of like Disney comment sections that were filled with a bunch of different comments saying like hashtag free Shindy. But the situation that arose because of that, I actually have to take Disney's side on, because all it is the rapper got in trouble with Disney, like sued by Disney, because he sampled the theme to Beauty and the Beast in his new single.
Shindy rapper.
That's a problem.
If you guys know the opening, like the music that plays in the opening of Beauty and the Beast, like with the piano,
Yeah.
he sampled that in his new track.
Really.
Oh.
Yeah.
And what's the song?
Oh, I don't even know the song. You just kind of have to search for it and see if it comes up. I had it up at one point. I think it got taken
Oh, it's
down.
Mandarin. That just came out like 5 days ago.
Mandarin, I don't think it's that one.
No.
No. I'm not sure, but either way, like I was able to find it. I listened to it myself, and it's like, yeah, it's literally the piano piece from that film with nothing substantial done to it to actually constitute a change in meaning. When I hear that piano piece, I think of the movie associated with it. I don't think of anything else, really.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think.
So
Well. Like, here's the thing though. With that is, if you're gonna sample a song, at least get the rights, or at least or at least ask for permission, because otherwise you're gonna get sued.
Yeah.
That's like rule number one in the entertainment industry. But if you're using a song that's like over 70 years old and that person's already long gone, then technically that song sample is in the public domain. So therefore, it is not like you can necessarily use that song if you wish.
yeah.
Now, some could
Kicker, though, is
argue.
that the kicker is that Beauty and the Beast itself is a public domain story. But that piece of music, that I don't know who composed it, but at least for that version of the film being the Disney film, that is owned by Disney, right?
That's
That
been
piece of
known.
music is owned by Disney. Disney has the copyright, the rights to that piece of music, right?
Right.
So it'd be different if he made one that sounded maybe a bit like it, but like he's literally sampling the actual track, or he's I don't know. It's hard to say, but I have to defend Disney on that one, because they do have the right to protect their intellectual property. And then there's this rapper who, I'm not saying he's irrelevant. I never heard of him. I don't think he's like a big time rapper.
Yeah.
But like then there's gonna be these people who say, "Oh, it's a race thing," and it's like it's not a race thing. Okay, he infringed copyright. That's what he did, and the copyright holder has the right, the legal right, and the ethical right, at least in this scenario, to say, "No, you're not using that."
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, let's be real here. Like, there are a bunch of different songs that sample the instrumental, the instrumental bits from other songs. Like, it's a common thing. It's been done sneakily nowadays, and people are trying to copyright the songs now. No. Actually, sorry. People have been trying to copyright their own products just for the sake of people now trying to steal their material and using it for their own products.
Yeah,
Obviously, for cases like this, I understood why they're doing that.
you guys
But
know
for
the
this,
song. Sorry.
oh no. But for this case, it's like, well, technically you didn't ask Disney, and I'm sure
Yeah.
if you ask Disney about it, and if you're a rapper with some money, I'm sure they could be like, you know what? Maybe for a few bucks, we'll give you the sample.
Right.
Hard to
Like,
say.
it doesn't hurt to ask. Like, what are they gonna do? Say no?
Probably.
Yeah. Like,
It
it's better
depends.
to ask than like just steal. Like, that's basically plagiarism.
Yeah, yeah, it is. You guys remember the song "Ice Ice Baby"?
Yep. I remember
Yep.
that.
Copyright infringement.
Yep, from Under Pressure.
Yep.
From
He
Under
claimed,
Pressure.
claimed that the song was fair use because he added one single beat, so it wasn't infringement. It's like, no, it's still infringement. So,
Nope.
Queen and the late David Bowie have songwriting credits on Ice Ice Baby.
It's a classic.
Oh my gosh.
It's funny how if you look up an artist named Ava Max, she has a lot of like songs that are like the same beat and everything. So I do wonder how she gets away with it. Like
Yeah.
it's if you look at her songs, it's the same thing.
Right. Well, like, like I will say for Shindy in this case that, obviously, like at some point, some of their songs that are going to be recognized from other people, they will get noticed, and they're probably going to be taken to court, where I have a feeling this is going to get settled down real quick because it's like, all they have to do is claim that, oh, you know what? I didn't realize this. I apologize. I'll pay the fee and call it a day, right?
Yeah.
Or they could just be like, hey, you know what? This could be fixed, but I still think this is an original piece that I made. It just sound very similar to yours. If you challenge it, you're gonna risk on losing more money. So I'm just like, I think this is gonna get settled down like real quick. I don't think this is gonna last too long.
I know the original. So for this one, it sounds like a remix. Just sounds like a remix, but still, I think the tone of it is very similar. It's almost like identical.
See, this is where we have a problem, because when you have remixes of songs, it's technically your own original creation. It's just it is an inspiration from another song, which means you have to give them credit. So I think what Shinny's mistake was is that they need to throw in shit, I'm drawing a blank. They need to put either two things. Go up to Disney and be like, hey, I'm using this sample for a song. How much do you want just for a small 30-second base background of it? Right? Or they put the credit to Disney in the lower part of their description. But you still gotta talk to them to see if they can make it happen, right? If you don't do that, you're gonna get yourself in a lawsuit because you didn't talk to them about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's hearing. So Nathan put in the original song, and yeah, they're like almost like the same. They're literally actually the same. It's just the other one it was sped up maybe a little bit and fixed just like a tiny bit, but really honestly it sounds like identical. Barely changed.
Yeah.
So there's a problem there.
I definitely see the similarities. Is it the exact same? No,
Kind of.
like kind of, yeah. Like it has the same notes, but as the pace, it's not exactly the same. But I could definitely see why Disney is on them for that.
Yeah.
Mhm. It definitely I can see the problem. I don't know. Copyright infringement, you got to be very careful. It's just it is better to do your own thing even if it's a copy. Like try to make it your own, you know? Like
Yeah.
use different tones, use different like even if it's similar in every way, it's just you got to make it different, you know?
You can take inspiration from anywhere. You just got to be careful about
Mhm.
what you pull and how much you use of it, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Right?
you can't
Individual chord progressions and things like that are harder to really dictate what is and isn't copyright infringement. But when you're using a whole like like a whole section of a song, that's a lot easier to say, yeah, that is copyright infringement.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, in Shindy's case, I side with Disney on that one. He is infringing Disney's copyright, unfortunately. So sorry for all the hashtag free Shindy people out there, but I'm not one of them.
No, I totally get
Okay,
it.
sorry. I'm not looking for anything bad to happen to him. It's just he infringed copyright. So
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Disney is not always in the right, obviously, with the
No.
Scarlett Johansson one. That one was majorly in the wrong, and because of that, is now costing them big players. And this is
Great
probably going to
competitors.
hurt them. Do I think it's going to end the MCU? No, but I can definitely see people boycott the films for the sake of Scarlett Johansson. I'm like, it's not really that deep. Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow is now dead. We don't really need to use her character anymore. Obviously, this is going to affect the outcome of the multiverse, when potentially if she does return. But still, like, we don't really need her character anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
and I don't really blame Scarlett for not wanting to come back ever at this point. With
I
everything.
mean, like,
They're done with her anyways, right? Like, I mean, they're done with her completely, and that sucks because I would have honestly. I feel like they were hinting low key that they would have loved to have her come back. Um, I don't know though, honestly. And
yeah.
before this whole lawsuit.
Yeah, it's just the whole situation itself obviously was unfortunate timing. But you still need to honor your part of the contract at least.
Mhm.
You don't just be like, "Oh yeah, you know what, circumstances happened and we're not going to give you your cut." You
Yeah.
can't do that.
No.
Like obviously the situation with the pandemic and like obviously delaying the film the theatrical release of Black Widow, I understood that. But you still need to honor that part of the contract. And I will say that like if this hurts Disney, good, because honestly they deserve that. But for the sake of this, do I think it's going to affect the MCU long term? No. Do I think it's going to affect future actors for potentially reprising their roles in future films? Yes.
Mhm.
You know what I just thought of when Josh said that Disney deserved that?
What?
What?
All I can think of is in GTA 5, okay? If you play as
Yeah.
Trevor and you like kill somebody,
Yeah.
and you like hit right on the D-pad or whatever, like Trevor will say like various lines. Like all the characters will say various lines. One of the lines that Trevor will say is, "You deserve that, you idiot." And all I can think of is that. It's like, "You deserve that, you idiot." Like referring to Disney.
My God.
Oh my gosh. Disney, they better pull out their wallets because they should not go forward with this lawsuit. They're basically going in knowing that they're going to lose, and all they're
It's just now
doing
that
is
they got their hand caught in the cookie jar.
Exactly.
That's what
Yep,
it is.
yep. It's because they want to have their cake and eat it too. I'm like, no, no, no.
Yep, they
No,
got
no,
caught
no.
red-handed. The mouse got caught in the trap.
Ha!
Uh
Kind of.
nice.
That's what you get.
Oh, jeez. Should have not been greedy, Mickey.
Nope. But I did catch something a little bit going off a topic a little bit, but I did I did caught wind of the fact that we're now getting Matrix 4 now.
Yeah.
They just dropped in a couple of teaser trailers. I'm looking at one of them right now, and obviously Keanu Reeves is still rocking the John Wick haircut, but it definitely is very, very like it looks really good. I'm excited for it.
It's
Yeah.
I saw the trailer earlier today. My brother texted me and he was like, "It's up," and I freaked out and I was like, "No way." So I went to go check it out and it was definitely not just the teaser trailer. I mean, and it was really like, and I've been analyzing it, and that's why I have my own theories about it, right? About what's
Right.
going. So
Yeah.
it definitely and but Thursday that's when it's going to drop. My theory is I think they're going to make another set of movies, and they're actually going to make a loop. So lots of you guys seen the movies, like all three?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. No? Okay. What have you seen,
I think
Nathan?
I've seen one of them, but I think just the first one. But
Just the first one? Okay. That's fine. You want me to spoil it for you for the other two, or
um, I mean, you can.
okay, what I think is going to happen, well, all I'll say is that I think it's going to be a loop that's going to happen. What I mean by a loop is the Matrix they make it sound like um humanity has been in on l- at the heel of robots of making the humans extinct for so long that there's been a numerous like revisions of every person. um they can literally bring back people from the Matrix, like Neo, right? That you've seen in the first movie, Nathan. Like he has been brought up numerous times, um and there was always different versions of him through the Matrix. So
Mm.
my theory is that they're going to do the same thing, but they're going to do it with other people, and it's going to spin all the way around to the old movies in a way. So as going forward, it is the next like part of the trilogy, but it's going to round about to the last set of movies that we see. That's my theory.
Yeah, like I think this is my thought process idea is that my theory is that I think the Matrix 4 is going to be taking place like basically acknowledging the events of the first three films, but basically start off as a new trilogy with a new protege for Neo, if that makes sense. And instead of like Mobius or Lawrence Fishburne returning his bat for like reprising his role, you could have Keanu Reeves coming back as Neo, coming in as the new more basically filling in the shoes of Mobius. And then the new main protagonist, the new Neo, comes in, learns the ropes of the Matrix. But except this time, this Neo is actually very, very like aggressive, more so the kind of like the opposite of Mobius. So like if you think about it this way, this Neo, this new protagonist of Neo, meets up with Keanu Reeves as a Neo, and then Keanu Reeves shows him the ropes of the Matrix. Now, obviously, he's seen some shit, so he knows exactly what it's like to put your life in your own hands, right? So in
Yeah.
this case, with the new Neo, is a little bit naive, just basically taking advantage of the Matrix and just take it for granted until he gets a life lesson when you sacrifice the ones that you love just to hope for a better future, right?
Mhm.
So basically, think of it like Rocky Balboa films going in with Creed. So basically, it's a new franchise, kind of. Well, technically, it's kind of like it's basically a reboot of the franchise, but still acknowledging the past films and still continuing on the story, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Honestly, whatever they do for this movie, I'm excited for. The theories that we put out, it's definitely going to be answered this Thursday, and I'm excited. Long
I
time
can't.
fan, for sure.
Well, I'm sure we could touch on that next episode when that happens.
Yeah,
Yeah, anyways, it is thundering hard out now, and I'm worried that
yeah,
my power might go off. So I think this is a good time to
Yeah.
wrap
I
this
think
up
it's a good time
here.
too. I was just
I
gonna
agree.
say.
So the weather is terrible where we are. I hope the weather is good over there. Please put the like button down below. Always subscribe if you're not. And yeah, listen to us weekly, and we'll touch base on Marvel, DC, Star Wars, anything honestly that interests us within also the industry, the cinema industry, show industry, if possible too. So it's just if you want to follow us in our journey, just give us a follow and a bell. Hit the bell too.
Yes, sir. Thank you all for
Yeah.
watching. I'm Josh,
I'm Jose.
I'm Nathan.
and we'll see y'all next time. Bye.
See ya.
See ya.